Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Port Royal Speedway for tonight's 50 lap feature here in the Mission 22 Super Late Model Dirt Series. My name is Jake Reeves alongside with Adam Flieger on the controls, and folks, we're in for a dandy here this evening. Had a couple of races already this season, 3 to be exact. This is the 4th race of 10 races here in the Mission 22 Super Late Model Dirt Series, and what better place to be than Port Royal Speedway on this beautiful Sunday night. We see a lot of great entries, a lot of great drivers being out here, and once again, for those of you who are just tuning in with us for the first time for this evening's race, these guys are going to be running in the World of Outlaw Butt Kicker Late Model Dirt Series tomorrow night. That is the Pro League. So this is kind of a, I guess you could say, a warm-up. Same track, probably going to be different track conditions, obviously, with it being dirt, but it gives them a little bit of a warm-up and tries to help them out with that coming into tomorrow night. But coming into the points with 3 starts on the season right now, Kendall Tucker in the 00 entry. Right up top in the point standings, Caleb Durgan going to be sitting second in the points right behind Kendall Tucker. Obviously, Kendall having 3 top 5s on the season in 3 starts, so that's why he is the points leader at this time. Like I said, Caleb Durgan's second. Logan Rumsey is third. Jason Salter fourth. James Eddins, the top 5 in points, and then Stephen Gaines 6th. Colton Zimmer 7th. Devin Morgan 8th, J.D. Brown 9th, and Chase Barber is in that 10th spot for the points. And coming off of a little bit of a great race that we had at Cedar Lake Speedway, Blake Majulis, you see him right there on your screen, he won that race and also won Monday night as well. So big props right here to see all this happen right here. So Blake trying to show them how it's done tonight here at Port Royal Speedway. And right now, looking at the hot laps right now, Blake's actually not the fastest driver on the track. It is occupied by the number 27 entry of Josh Fuller with a 16.986. Evan C., Blake Majulis' teammate, at a 16.990. Those are the only 2 drivers right now in this hot lap session up under the 17-second mark. You actually got 2 of them, 3rd and 4th right now as far as hot laps. 17 flat, that being the 87 entry of Tucker Elkins and the number 80 entry of Dylan Wilson. Getting ready for some qualifying. Try to get us lined up, get us ready to go for tonight's festivities. Want to mention some sponsors that we have tonight. Tri-City Speed for the Rookie of the Year, dirtfan.com. As always, you see there on the screen, everybody at dirtfan.com, good shout out to y'all on this Sunday night. Studio 10 Wraps looking for the best looking car, and obviously Ultimate Dirt TV and Mission 22 as the sponsors. We'll talk a little bit about Mission 22 later on in tonight's broadcast. But right now on the track, got Caleb Durgan out here getting ready to take his qualifying lap. 2 laps on the track, and a bunch of these guys out here wanting to see if they can even better their time from what they had in hot laps. And we will see how that will work out, as it looks like Jonathan Adkins thought better of what he had, wanted to get a redo on his lap. But now we got a couple of them out there getting them wound up, putting it on the floor right now. And here's Dustin Griffiths taking a slide right here. Half a mile track right here, that being Port Royal Speedway. One of the newer entries with the iRacing service. So very fun. A lot of dirt drivers, a lot of not only super late model drivers, but pro late model drivers. 360 sprint cars, 410 sprint cars, everybody. I mean, USAC sprints if they could run them. I mean, big block modifieds, whatever. Everybody asked for this track, and iRacing came through big time. And right now at the top of the list, the 112 entry Devin Morgan at a 17.608, now at a 17.554, which is the quick time right now. Rumsey right behind him at a 17.806. So 17.554 by Devin Morgan. That is the top of the charts. We will see if anybody is going to be able to knock him off. Remember, we did have two drivers up under 17 seconds in hot laps, that being Josh Fuller and Evan C. So we'll see if anybody's able to break into that 16-second mark right here and see how this race will play out here tonight at Port Royal. And folks, I've been waiting on this race right here for a little while. This is actually, like I said, half-mile track. This is more like a super speedway type dirt race, if you will, because, big, long straightaways, as you see on the track. These guys able to get all the RPMs, all the horsepower that they can, and try to use every bit of it to their advantage. But right now, still at the top, Devin Morgan still with that 17.554. Nobody's been able to knock him off yet. Rumsey still sitting there with a 17.806. Robbie Buchanan Jr., one of those guys that posted in the chat about the best looking car entry, and that 31 looks very, very good, if I do say so myself. But that's going to wrap up qualifying. So Devin Morgan's going to be on the pole for heat race number 1 and the 112 entry. Devin Morgan going to be on the front row, heat race number 1. Chase Barber in the 023 entry going to start right beside of him. Dylan Hauser will be 3rd. Knox Lumley will be 4th. Jordan Casey, Peyton White, they will be 5th and 6th respectively, with Willie Howes in 7th. Here's Blake Majulis, the 127 entry, going to be way back right here in 8th. Nathan Brown will be 9th, and Chase Hardy will be 10th. 10 laps, top 3 will go straight to the feature. We'll not have to worry about going to a B main, and that's exactly what some of these guys really want to make sure that they are going to be able to do, especially with some of the points that we have seen here in the Mission 22 Super Late Model Dirt Series. You see the 023 of Chase Barber, or 23 on your screen right there. There's Devin Morgan in the 112, waiting on that pace car to pull off and get this race underway. Folks, I'm telling you, the track looks very, very good from what I'm able to see right here. Not really slicked off, a little bit slicked off into turn 1. Might be a little bit of a hold your breath for them going into turn number 1, but we will see how all that will shake out. Still waiting on that pace car to move, and finally they find which gear it needs to be in, or they find the pedals, and they start to move on down the road. Devin Morgan, talked about him just a second ago, sitting 8th in the points. Chase Barber is actually 10th right now in the points. So two guys gonna lead them to green right here in heat race number 1, top 10 in the point standings. So we're gonna see how all this shakes out right here with heat race number 1. Looks like we got about 5 heat races tonight. As everybody gets stacked up, green flag is in the air, and we are racing tonight here at Port Royal Speedway. Morgan pulls the slider straight up in front of Chase Barber as we have a caution on the speedway very, very early. We're going to see exactly what happened with all of that. Like a pretty normal, I guess you could say, start right there. Race control did throw the caution though, so not real sure exactly why just yet. We'll try to get word on that as to why that happened. We're getting word that race control didn't like the start, so We'll rack them up. We will do it again. Get it back to a double file restart right here. Once again, Morgan be on the bottom. Chase Barbara up top. Pretty much everybody that was where they was at, they're just going to re-rack them back to where they was to start right here. Line them up and get ready to rock and roll once again. Remember, 5 heat races right here. Top 3 will advance to the feature as the pace car pulls off. Hopefully race control will like this restart, as everybody, I know everybody watching at home ready to get it on the gas, and Morgan is gone. Gets a huge jump, better jump than what he had the first time around. Here comes Hauser. He's going to slide up on the bottom, slide all the way to the top. Barbara's going to go down to the bottom, and Lumley in the crosshairs just trying to catch whatever they can. See if he can catch one of them slipping just a little bit and be able to get around them. Hauser goes all the way to the bottom, tries to pull the slider all the way up to the fence. Barbara's going to take a shot down to the inside as Devin Morgan looks in his mirror and says, y'all do every bit of this right here. I am gone. And Hauser gets in the fence and is actually disconnected, so that's going to be great for Barber to not have to worry about battling with him, and that's going to move Knox Lumley up to the 3rd spot. But he has got a lot of people behind him wanting to try to take that 3rd spot away and transfer straight to the feature. That being Peyton White and Jordan Casey right behind him. Casey's going to pull the slider. Lumley's going to pull right down below him, try to see if he can pull a slider of his own. Big time racing for every little inch back here for the 3rd spot. 1 and 2 has not changed. There's Blake Majulis as he goes into the fence, and we have a caution on the speedway. Majulis still up in the fence trying to get the car straightened back out as we're going to look at it here on the instant replay, and looks like he might have got just a little bit of help, spun him out right there on the front stretch, and the Majulis tried to get it straightened back up. Like he knocked the right front tire off. Looked like that was Chase Hardy, I believe it was, in the number 99 that got into him. Spun Blake Majulis around. So Hardy will get an EOL and go to the back. And Majulis, one of the big dogs, I guess you could say, coming into tonight here in the Mission 22 Super Late Model Dirt Series, will have to go to a B main and try to get himself transferred into the feature tonight if he wants to be in the festivities later this evening. Pace car is still out on the track. Nothing changed. 1 and 2 right now. That's Devin Morgan and Chase Barbara. But the battle was on there, as you saw on your screen, with Jordan Casey, Knox Lumley, and Peyton White. Pulling sliders, doing everything they possibly could, any way, shape, fashion, or form to get to that 3rd spot and not have to worry about making a B main trip. They want this to be their only trip that they've got to worry about to go to the feature. Single file restart right here with 3 to go. Five laps to go. Excuse me. Morgan on the gas. Barbara is gone. Casey tried to hold off Lumley just a little bit, and we're going to have another caution on the speedway. Race director probably didn't like how that start was neither. But Lumley looked like he was going to try to seriously make a charge down on the bottom right there. Maybe that's what the race director was possibly looking at. So he jumped out of line and tried to make a jump on Jordan Casey. As you see right there on your screen. And race control probably not too happy with how that went, so re-rack them one more time and do it again. Folks, once again, thank y'all for joining us here tonight for the Mission 22 Super Late Model Dirt Series. Another great sponsor, a sponsor of WOTEL, the World of Thunder Esports League. Big shout out to those guys. Everything that they do. And Ultimate Dirt TV as well. Always Ultimate Dirt TV. Always got some of the best dirt racing online. We were thankful to have them with us here tonight. The pace car is off. Morgan still leading with Barbara and Casey, the top three. Peyton White and Knox Lumley still trying to find a way around Casey as the green flag is in the air. Everybody on the gas. Coming with 3 laps to go this time right here. Looks like Morgan's got this bad boy in the bag right now. Now Barbara had it in the bag for second. Now getting a challenge from Jordan Casey. And Casey better watch his back bumper because Peyton White is all over his back bumper just waiting on Casey to slip up just a little bit. Hardy gets into the fence, tries to find a way around Peyton White. Nothing was there. White's going to try to slide up in front of Casey, and Peyton White's going to go around, tried to pull the slider, but was not able to get it clear. He was clear, but Casey just never got out of the gas and spun him straight out. It was an aggressive move by Peyton White, but unfortunately, Casey had none of it, and he kept his foot in it. See right here, Peyton White tried to pull the slider and just ever so slightly, looked like maybe even Peyton White trying to pull down. Knew that the slider was not going to be able to work. So he tried to pull it down as quick as he possibly could, and then Casey was just coming around with the run on the top. Just straight up getting spun out, and that's just how it works. So White's going to be at the back of the field. Now Casey has got to deal with Chase Hardy. And we saw what Hardy did earlier with Blake Majulis. So we'll see if Hardy is going to be able to get into this bad boy. Actually started dead last in this heat all the way up to 4th. So Hardy making some moves on the top, trying to get there. But we are back under green here at Port Royal Speedway. Morgan gets a huge jump out. Barbara gets a huge jump as well. Gets away from Casey. Casey going to keep running the top, which is preferred right now. As Hardy trying to find something, trying to muster something up to get to him. White flag in the air. Casey gets into the fence. Barbara's in the fence as well. Both of them in the fence. Hardy's got one more shot. Goes all the way, almost completely sideways, and it will not be enough. Morgan will get the win. Barbara will get second, and Jordan Casey will round out the top 3. Official finishing order for heat race number 1, Devin Morgan, Chase Barber, Jordan Casey will transfer to the feature. Knox Lumley finishing 4th. Chase Hardy will get 5th. Nathan Brown and Peyton White 6th and 7th. Blake Majulis 8th. Dylan Hauser 9th. And Willie Howes will be 10th. Heat race number 2 coming at you. There's Logan Rumsey in the number 41 entry. He'll be on the front row with Jaden Anderson in the number 330 entry. Got Dylan Wilson in 3rd, Scott Smith 4th, Jonathan Adkins, Scott Neff 5th and 6th, Jason Korn, Keaton Holder 7th and 8th, Brett New, and John Ruggiero Jr. round out heat race number 2 starting order. Rumsey coming into tonight 3rd in the points, so check it out. Top 5 points guy right here, leading them to green as they go green here at Port Royal. Rumsey trying to get the jump, get up in front of Anderson, and he will do that, jumping to the top. Now side-by-side battle with Wilson and Anderson. Wilson trying to run the bottom, maybe try to slide around Anderson. Not going to be enough, but still had a little bit of a hole to slide in between Anderson and Smith. Smith getting a rear view mirror full right now. Scout and F. And Scout trying to see if he can maneuver himself up through the field. Get to that third position, which is occupied by Dylan Wilson. Everybody trying to run as high as they possibly can. Some of them even getting into the fence. As you see right there, Scout and F straight into the fence, straight up sending it right there, trying to get to Scott Smith. As Wilson takes a shot at Anderson down on the bottom. Now Scout Neff and Scott Smith. Smith and Neff going at it for fourth. Top three starting to pull away from Smith and Neff right now. Rumsey still leads with Anderson up front. Wilson's still sitting third, as they have pulled away very, very well. As now Scott Smith in the fence. Everybody's able to get around him. And folks, I talked about that right there as they were running up against the fence right there. You risk yourself of throwing it in the fence just like Scott Smith did. So Scout Neff's going to go up to fourth. John Ruggiero Jr., check this out, all the way from 10th. And he's going to go for fourth right here, and he's going to make the pass. Excuse me, going for fifth on Keaton Holder. He made the pass. Now Holder goes down to the bottom as John Ruggiero Jr. up top. Top three, no change so far. Wilson actually pressuring Anderson just a little bit for that second spot. Scout Neff trying to find anything he can. End up finding the wall in turn number 2. But everybody running right up against the top, couple down on the bottom. One of those being Ruggiero Jr. 2 laps to go in this heat. It looks like it is solidly going to be for the top 3 as Wilson takes a shot and tries to pull a slider on Anderson. Anderson goes down to the bottom. Drag race to the line for the white flag. Anderson slides it in. Rumsey comfortably running with the lead as Wilson and Anderson putting on a show tonight here at Port Royal. Wilson takes one shot, even gets close to getting to Rumsey, and it's not going to be enough as it was a dead heat race to the line. And Rumsey wins heat race number 2. Anderson actually got Wilson at the line, just barely. Wow. Hard race right there, but Rumsey will get the win. Anderson second. Dylan Wilson will get third. Scout Neff fourth, and John Ruggiero Jr. from starting dead last all the way up to 5th. Keaton Holder 6th. Jason Korn 7th. Jonathan Adkins 8th. Brent New 9th. And Scott Smith, who was running up inside the top 4 at the time, threw it into the fence. He'll come home last in heat race number 2. Heat race number 3. Got a couple of guys right here that you might want to really keep your eye on this evening, leading them to the green in heat race number 3. Robbie Buchanan Jr. and the number 31 entry. Your point leader coming into tonight, the 00 of Kendall Tucker. Caleb Durgan and Matthew Selby make up row number 2 with Dustin Griffiths and Diesel Jones going to be in that 3rd row. Hunter Lagoons going to be 7th. There's Tyson in the 74, be 8th. RS Center and Lakin Martin will be the 10 drivers in heat race number 3. I talked about Robbie Buchanan Jr. a minute ago for the best looking car, and you see it on your screen as he's going to take that best looking car all the way to the green flag and get a huge jump over Kendall Tucker. Tucker going to slide it down to the bottom. Durgan, we talked about how aggressive he can be in the past couple of weeks. Now Durgan in a side-by-side battle with Matthew Selby. Buchanan running the top, Tucker down on the bottom, and Selby trying to fight off Caleb Durgan for this 3rd and final transfer spot. Don't count out Diesel Jones as he is back there as well, and we have a caution on the speedway. We're going to get a look and see what that caution was. for you at home. It looks like Tyson in the 74 was involved in this as well. Tried to keep it off the 82 and just kind of lost it. Everybody else got stacked up. Hunter Lagoons back there as well. Just typical dirt racing with somebody trying to make a move, trying to get it woed up and not get into anybody. And then chaos ensues. Track's still looking very good, even though it is heat race number 3. Had some races already on it. Looks like we're going to get a double file restart right here, and Robbie Buchanan Jr. will be on the bottom with Tucker up top. Selby still having that third and final transfer spot with Caleb Durgan will be on his outside. Diesel Jones and Dustin Griffiths. That's your top 6 with Lakin Martin, the 74 of Tyson, and RS Center. That'd be the top 9, as Hunter Lagoons has retired from heat race number 3. Now they're going to get single file now, as Robbie Buchanan Jr. will lead them to the green. Everybody getting single file. Green flag there on the gas, and Robbie Buchanan Jr. gets a huge jump over Kendall Tucker. And you got to think, for Kendall Tucker being the points leader, he just wants to not really worry about winning his heat race. He just wants to be able to make it to the feature and make sure that he is going to securely get some points here tonight, as the side-by-side battle rages on with Caleb Durgan and Matthew Selby. Talked about him a couple of weeks ago being the Bulldog. That was his PlayStation name. And Bulldog it is, as he is trying to bulldog his way to that 3rd spot with the expense of Caleb Durgan. Durgan had it. Selby gets it. Now Durgan's going to take it right back. Halfway this time by. Everybody trying to pull a bunch of sliders, trying to get every little inch that they can. Diesel Jones almost made it work. Now he's going to slide up into the fences. Wow, Diesel Jones goes straight into the fence. Cut right in front of Dustin Griffiths, but the battle still rages on for that transfer spot. Durgan still holds it. Selby still wants it. Robbie Buchanan Jr. still leading with Kendall Tucker in 1st and 2nd, no change there. But everybody's got their eyes right now on this transfer spot, as Selby sent it. Actually got into the fence just a little bit, but gained ground on Durgan. 3 laps to go to be 2 to go this time by. Has the Bulldog got anything for Caleb Durgan? We will find out. Dustin Griffiths way back there has gotten pretty much no shot to get to these guys unless both of them get into it. And Kendall Tucker better watch his back bumper, because they are starting to close in on him, that being Durgan and Selby. White flag is in the air. Robbie Buchanan Jr. has got a good lead. He's going to be just fine as Selby tries to pull the slider. Does not make it work. Durgan's going to get away. And that might have been the shot right there that Selby needed. And does not look like he's going to be able to pull it off, as Robbie Buchanan Jr. will take heat race number 3. Kendall Tucker will get 2nd, and Caleb Durgan will not have to go to a B main this evening. He will get an automatic 1st class ticket straight to the feature. What a race all the way to the end, folks. Robbie Buchanan Jr. will get that heat race win. Kendall Tucker gets 2nd. Caleb Durgan 3rd. Matthew Selby 4th. Dustin Griffiths in that 5th spot. Lakin Martin, RS Center. Tyson will get 8th. Diesel Jones 9th. Hunter Lagoons will be 10th. Heat race number 4. Check it out. Evan C. on the front row. Teammate to Blake Majulis. He'll be on the front row with J.D. Brown, Travis St. Clair, and Kyle Carter. In that 2nd row, James Eddins. Check this out. 5th coming into tonight in the points, that being James Eddins. 5th in the points. He starts 5th in heat race number 4 with Tucker Elkins. will be on his outside in 6th. Ethan Toder, the hard charger from Fairbury, will be 7th with Braden Schott. And 9th, tail on the field, Justin Toll. So Evan C. waiting and waiting and waiting as the pace car has pulled off. Waiting to get inside that restart zone, and he is. We are green once again for heat race number 4 here at Port Royal. See, he goes straight to the top as we've seen every single heat race. Now Brown's going to get a little bit of a run. He's going to shoot to the bottom and pull the slider on C, go all the way to the top of the racetrack, and he will make that pass. C's going to try to get a shot as we've got cars spinning in the back of the field. One of those being, like I said, the hard charger from Fairbury, Ethan Toder. It looks like Toder drove it up into the fence, wasn't able to make it stick. A couple of guys, Kyle Carter, getting involved as well. Just wasn't able to make it stick, slide straight down. 034 Braden Schott also involved as well. We'll see if Toder's able to keep it out on the racetrack, and he is. So everybody still on the racing surface. Toder was already back there in the back. Race control will give him an EOL, and he will be at the back. So Evan C. still leads with J.D. Brown, Travis St. Clair. That's your top 3. Looking to possibly keep their positions or even advance. That being Brown or St. Clair to try to move up a spot. Their main focus is staying inside that top 3. Kyle Carter 5th. James Eddins, talked about him, 5th in the points, running 5th here in heat race number 4. Pace car is off. We're going to wait, and we wait no more as the green flag is in the air. Evan C. gets a pretty good jump. Not as much as we had seen. Brown's going to throw it straight into the fence and get up as much tackiness as he can to try to get to him, as both of these guys have separated themselves from Travis St. Clair. Kyle Carter's still battling, trying to get up there. Something was amiss with Travis St. Clair. Not sure what exactly happened to him. St. Clair is in the pits. That's going to move James Eddins all the way up to the 3rd spot. Put Kyle Carter back here in a side-by-side battle with Tucker Elkins. Wow. What a turn of events right there, folks. As Eddins, who was 5th, slides around and gets on the top side and makes it work and gets up to 3rd. Tucker Elkins will go to 4th, and Ethan Toder, who was at the end of the line, will be 5th at this time. Up front, the battle still rages on with J.D. Brown and Evan C. As Brown, knowing that they got a huge and comfortable gap, wants to try to take the lead and win heat race number 4 going into tonight. C still running the top. Brown still running right behind him on the top. Eddins got a very, very comfortable lead over Tucker Elkins. If Elkins has anything left in the tank, he needs to start pushing it and start using it right now. Because James Eddins has got almost a second over Tucker Elkins at this time. And Brown's actually lifted off a little bit off of Evan C. So that gives C a pretty good cushion over J.D. Brown. And Eddins back here, basically C 1 second over J.D. Brown, and Brown 1 second over James Eddins with 2 laps to go. And Elkins has fallen off majorly right here. So barring something really, really crazy right here, this will be the finish of heat race number 4 as Evan C takes the white flag. And C, who finished second to Blake Majulis in the Butt Kicker World of Outlaw Late Model Series Monday night, will take the checkered flag for heat race number 4, J.D. Brown and James Edens, rounding out the top 3. Looks like they're still trying to race it out, even though the checkered flag was out. But Evan C. gets the win with J.D. Brown second. James Edens gets that final transfer spot. He'll go to third. Tucker Elkins will finish fourth. Ethan Toder will get fifth. Kyle Carter sixth. Justin Toll will get seventh. And Travis St. Clair, not real sure exactly what happened to him, but he will finish eighth and have to go to the B main along with Braden Schatz. Heat race number 5, folks, the last heat race of the night. And boy, we got a dandy right here with Desmond Busby. Gonna lead them to the green with Colton Zimmer. Colton Zimmer coming 7th in the points tonight. Stephen Gaines 6th in the points, will be 3rd with Howard Weaver. In 4th, Josh Fuller, Brett Cottle, 5th and 6th with Bailey Dutton, Nicholas McDougal, and Ben Countermarsh. Tail end on the field. Pace car is off. And we'll wait for Busby to hit the gas and show them how to get around here as the green flag is in the air and they are on the gas. Busby slides up in front of Zimmer. Gaines down on the bottom. As I mentioned, Zimmer and Gaines top 10 in the points coming into tonight. As we got a little bit of a roughhouse back there in the back around the 6th, 7th area. That's where you'll find Ben Countermarsh, who basically took care of all of that and went straight past it. But up front, Zimmer and Gaines trying to hold on to 2nd and 3rd. As Howard Weaver was up in the 4th spot. Now he's going to be tail end Charlie all the way to the end with that little bit of roughhousing that they had. Now Josh Fuller occupies that 4th spot with Brett Cottle in 5th. Desmond Busby still pulling away as of right now. Zimmer and Gaines actually getting very, very close to one another right here. A little bit more closer than probably they would like, especially with the heat race right here. But Gaines has enough of it, pulls the slider, jumps straight up in front of Zimmer. Zimmer goes down to the bottom, drag race to the line. Zimmer will try to pull the slider as well. We'll see if Gaines is able to jump down to the bottom, and he will. Basically trading slide jobs for the 2nd spot. And lurking in the shadows back here is Josh Fuller in that number 27 entry. Halfway this time. So it looks like Gaines got into the fence just a little bit. Zimmer trying to see if he can capitalize on it. As Gaines gets into the fence big time, Zimmer has to check up, and that just opened the door for Josh Fuller to get right in the middle of this battle, as you see on your screen. Fuller right up in the middle of all of this. As Gaines takes another shot to the inside. Wow. Hard racing right here for the 2nd spot. 3 to go. Zimmer still trading slide jobs with Gaines. Gaines will go back down to the bottom. And like I said, lurking in those shadows is Josh Fuller. Remember, Fuller was the fastest in hot laps. So if Fuller's got any speed like he had in hot laps, he needs to show it right here, right now. Zimmer pulls the slider. Gaines goes down to the bottom. Fuller thought about going 3 wide, but thought better of it. He's going to take a shot to the bottom and try to pull the slider on Zimmer, and he's going to get tapped in the back end, and Zimmer's going to shoot straight back by. White flag in the air. Desmond Busby has checked out from the field, but this is the race right here for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on your screen, as Gaines is going to get away. Fuller top, trying to ride it as best as he possibly can, try to get this last little bit of a run to the line, and Zimmer is going to get him by 2/100ths of a second. Busby gets the win. Gaines, Zimmer, the top 3. Fuller almost had it, but just wasn't quite enough. So Busby gets the win. In heat race number 5, Busby Gaines Zimmer, then Josh Fuller, Brett Cottle, Nicholas McDougal, Ben Countermarsh, Howard Weaver, Bailey Dutton. That'll be the 9 drivers. And that will be where they finished in heat race number 5. B main number 1 coming up. Got Knox Lumley, Tucker Elkins on the front row with Josh Ruggiero Jr. and Brett Cottle. Just saw Brett in heat race number 5. He will be 4th. Starting 4th right here. Lakin Martin be 5th. Peyton White be 6th. Justin Toll and Jonathan Atkins 7th and 8th. Howard Weaver, Diesel Jones 9th and 10th. And Willie Howells will be 11th on the field. 3 B mains right here. So top 2 will transfer. It shows 3 actually, so it looks like top 3 will transfer to the feature. So Willie Howells way back there in that 11th place has got a lot of ground to make up and try to get back up here. Get into the transfer spot right now. Knox Lumley, Tucker Elkins on the front row. Pace car is off, and they are on the gas as Lumley gets a huge jump over Tucker Elkins. He's going to slide straight up on that top lane with Elkins running right behind him. And John Ruggiero Jr. trying to hold them all at bay behind him. That being Brett Cottle and Lakin Martin 2 wide back there. Now go almost 3 wide for a split second. As Cottle all the way up to the top, Martin all the way down to the bottom. And that lets the top 3 scoot away as Elkins gets around Lumley. Here comes John Ruggiero Jr. for a battle for second. Ruggiero Jr. still trying to run the bottom. Lumley up in the fence. Follows Elkins straight up into the fence. And Lakin Martin trying to do what Josh Fuller almost did in heat race number 5, lurking in the shadows as you see back there, right behind John Ruggiero Jr. Lakin Martin trying to slide up here and take that spot and get into this feature here tonight. Tucker Elkins still leads. Lumley gets into the fence. Here comes John Ruggiero Jr. for a shot. Pulls all the way down to the bottom. Pulls the slider all the way up to the fence. Lumley sees it, cuts down. Drag race all the way back to the line. Lumley pulls the slider all the way up in front of Ruggiero Jr. You see Lakin Martin, like I said, lurking in the shadows back there. Tucker Elkins still pulling away. A lot of hard racing. These guys really wanting to make sure they make it to this feature event here tonight at Port Royal Speedway. As Ruggiero Jr. will solidly take second, but not for long. Here comes Lumley trying to put the pressure on Ruggiero. Lakin Martin lurking in the shadows is caution. Caution is on the speedway at lap 6, halfway in this race. There's a lot of hard racing back here in the back. Wow. Big time flip right there, if you will, with Howard Weaver getting upside down right there. You're gonna see it on board right here. Howard Weaver going down the backstretch. Just sends it in there. And bam, there he goes, straight over on his lid. And that's one place you definitely don't want to be, especially on a dirt track. I mean, he tried to pull the slider and get a 2 for 1. Was not able to do it. So Howard Weaver on his lid. Looks like he will not be able to make the feature here tonight. And we will see him next week at Knoxville, Iowa. Pace car is off with Tucker Elkins on the front row with John Ruggiero Jr. Knox Lumley, Lakin Martin lurking in the shadows. Diesel Jones in that top 5. Green flag back in the air. Tucker Elkins gets a nice jump, egg time jump over John Ruggiero Jr. and Knox Lumley. Lumley going to try to pull the slider and try to get around Ruggiero Jr. Jr. goes back to the top, gets a huge run side by side going into turn 3 as Lumley's going to pull the slider. Will Ruggiero check up? He will. Tries to go down to the bottom as Lakin Martin is going to try to make a pass on the bottom. And he slides up, tries to get in front of Ruggiero Jr. Jr. thought better of it, kept it on the top, and gets around Martin. So Ruggiero Jr. getting a big-time handful. Now here comes Diesel Jones. He puts his face up here in the middle of all of this with 4 laps to go. Jones gets into it with Lakin Martin, and we're going to have a caution on the speedway once again. And Lakin Martin tried to pull the slider right there on Diesel, but he was nowhere near clear. You're going to see it right here. I mean, tried to pull up. It just did not happen. So Lakin Martin going to the pits. Diesel Jones still out there on the racetrack. Lakin Martin's night appears to be done as well as Howard Weaver. And very unfortunate to see that, especially with Lakin. Looked like he had a real good shot at trying to get up into that top 3. But unfortunately, will not happen tonight. And folks, this is just the first B main. We still got 2 more left to go to set the field for the 50-lap feature here this evening. Looks like we're going to go single file right here on this restart. Tucker Elkins still shows the way. Pace car is off. It's Elkins, Lumley, Ruggiero Jr., Diesel Jones, and Jonathan Adkins, the top 5. Mentioned Willie Howells. I talked about him a while ago, needing to make some moves, dead last all the way up to 7th. If he can get him about 3 more spots, he will be in this feature tonight. But he's got to go through 6 more as the green flag is in the air with 3 to go. Elkins trying to pull away. Lumley trying to get back to him as Ruggiero Jr. fights to get down on the bottom of the racetrack. Top 3 pulling away as Diesel Jones, who had that little bit of a scuffle with Lakin Martin, looks like he's feeling the effects of it right now. Top 3 have pulled away by a good margin, over 2 seconds. As the white flag is in the air, 1 more lap. Will Lumley ride and be comfortable with that 2nd spot, or will Tucker Elkins go for it right here? Elkins goes down to the bottom. Lumley goes straight up top. Ruggiero Jr. tries to follow him. Lumley's going to make the pass on the top side. So take Lumley. Knox Lumley in the number 24 entry will get the checkered flag in B main number 2, or excuse me, B main number 1, with Tucker Elkins getting 2nd and John Ruggiero Jr. getting in the 3rd spot. What a race right there. Lumley held firm on the top, and Elkins thought he was going to go to the bottom, tried to pull the block. Lumley threw him off and made the pass. So Lumley, Elkins, Ruggiero Jr., Adkins, and Willie Howells will be the top 5. Diesel Jones, Justin Toll, Peyton White, Lakin Martin, Howard Weaver, and Brett Cottle. That's the 11 drivers that was in B main number 1. B main number 2 is up. Scouting F, Josh Fuller on the front row with Dustin Griffiths, Nathan Brown. That's the top 4. Now you got Kyle Carter and Jason Korn, 5th and 6th. Ben Countermar, 7th. There's Tyson Ulicki. I'm sorry, I'm probably messing it up every single week. I'm sorry, Tyson. He's going to be in 8th. Dylan Hauser be 9th. Braden Schatz 10th. And Scott Smith will be tail end on the field. Pace car is off. And Scout Neff will lead them to the green. And he is on the gas. Green flag is in the air. Josh Fuller trying to give chase as best as he can, but Dustin Griffiths has got different plans. Tries to make the slide as we do have another caution on the speedway. Looks like that was Kyle Carter in the number 14 entry. We'll see what happened to Kyle. Looked like he got stuck almost in a 3-wide battle right there. Tried to keep it straight, slid up just a little bit, and got hooked straight into the fence. Was not able to hold it down. And Tyson, looks like he's going to get some black flags cleared for where he was at. I'll tell you, these guys right here, I'm telling you folks, if you don't think these guys want to be able to make the feature here tonight in the Mission 22 Super Late Model Dirt Series, you are sorely, sorely mistaken, because I'll be honest with you, this is some of the hardest racing I have seen. This being the 4th race of the season, this is probably the hardest racing I have seen all season long. These guys know it. These guys want to be in this feature and have their name called as one of the 24 for this event. Pace car is off. Scout Neff still with the lead. Fuller will be second. Dustin Griffiths third. Nathan Brown fourth. Kyle Carter trying to catch back up. Jason Korn going to be in that 5th spot, waiting on that green flag. And it is out, and they are on the gas. Scout Neff gets a huge, very, very good, huge jump. Fuller going to see if he can try to catch back up, as we got another caution on the speedway. Maybe something that race control was not real keen on with that as well. May have been an incident. We will find out. We're getting word right now it was Ben Countermarsh in the 12. Jumped the start. We're going to see it right here. Ben Countermarsh, look at this right here. Big time jumps the start. And folks, I thought I saw that right there. From what I thought I saw that. But I thought, you know, honestly, when the green flag was out, they could gas it up and take off. But race control thought better of my ideas, and that's why I'm not the race control director. So Ben Countermarsh jumping the start. He'll go to the tail end of the field. Scout Neff still leads with Josh Fuller in second. And you got to hand it out to this 82 car right here. Dustin Griffiths really putting the pressure on Fuller and Neff, trying to get himself better than where he's at and try to make sure that he gets a transfer straight into the feature here tonight. Pace car is off. Neff waiting and waiting. And he is waiting no longer, as he is back on the gas under the green flag. Fuller runs the top. Griffiths tries to jump to the bottom and tries to pull the slider. Does not work. As Griffiths gets into the fence, so does Fuller. As Scout Neff starting to pull away from Fuller. A lot of hard racing going on back here for around the 4th spot. Nathan Brown stuck in the middle of this, as well as Jason Korn. There's Tyson trying to get up into the middle of this as well. Nathan Brown, looks like we may have a little bit of a connection issue with Nathan Brown, so Brown's going to be out of this battle. Korn still trying to hold off Tyson. Tyson making a move down to the inside, may try to pull a slider. And here's Scott Smith, excuse me, trying to battle it out with Tyson. Top 3. Nothing has changed with Scout Neff, Josh Fuller, and Dustin Griffiths, but the battle is on for 4th as Korn goes to the top. Got Scott Smith on the bottom. Drag race all the way to the line with Tyson behind him, as well as Ben Countermarsh. We talked about him just a second ago, jumping the start. So he's trying to make moves and try to get past these guys. But if he's going to have anything, he better find it really, really quick, because the top 3 has straight up pulled away from the rest of the pack. That might have been Tyson's only shot, was to jump the start at this point, because it does not look like, or excuse me, Ben Countermarsh's shot was to jump the start, because these guys is absolutely gone right here. 1, 2, and 3, respectively. Scott Smith settled right into 4th spot. Good run for him, even though it's in the B main. Started 11th all the way up to 4th. He's trying to hold off Countermarsh. So we are 3 laps to go before B main is over with. Scout running very, very consistently up there in the lead, pulling out to about a second over Josh Fuller. And Dustin Griffiths about a second back from Fuller, respectively. Smith actually gets passed by Countermarsh. So move Countermarsh up to 4th. And Scout Neff takes the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Looks like it is all sealed up for the top 3. As Scout Neff comes off of turn number 4. He will get the checkered flag. Scout Neff will win B main number 2. Fuller will get 2nd, and Dustin Griffiths will get 3rd. Countermarsh, Scott Smith, Jason Korn, Tyson will get 7th. Kyle Carter will get 8th. Nathan Brown had a couple of connection issues where he was at. He will finish where he was at. There's the rest of the running order on your screen. And you hate to see it for Braden Schatz. He was one of those guys that was in the running for the best looking car, with Studio 10 Wraps being the sponsor for that. But B main number 3. This is the one right here where we need to watch right here, because Matthew Selby on the front row with Chase Hardy. Ethan Toder, Keaton Holder, 3rd and 4th. Nicholas McDougall, 5th. RS Center. And this is why I said we need to watch it right here, folks. Starting 7th, Blake Majulis in the 127 entry. In 7th, Travis St. Clair will be 8th. Brett New, Bailey Dutton, and Hunter Lagoons rounding out the top 10, or top 11, excuse me, for the field. Selby's on the gas. Tries to get a jump right here on Chase Hardy. Hardy's going to slide into 2nd, Toder in 3rd. And Keaton Holder trying to give chase to Toder to get that 3rd spot. That'll for the lead. Hardy tries to pull the slider, makes the slider work, and jumps straight up in front of Selby. Selby trying to make the run down on the bottom of the racetrack. He'll make it. Try to see if he can slide up in front of Hardy, and he will make that work. As new race leader, the Bulldog, Matthew Selby. Check out Keaton Holder down on the bottom. Tried to catch Toder sleeping right there. And he's going to catch him sleeping once again. Pull the slider in front of Toder straight up the track. Toder down to the bottom of the racetrack. This is the battle for the transfer spot. Toder slides up. Holder tries to jump back down to the bottom. The battle for the lead still carries on with the Bulldog and Chase Hardy. Hardy going down to the bottom as Toder's actually going to get bypassed. Keaton Holder getting bypassed. Here comes Blake Majulis trying to get a run and try to see if he can get up here in this top 3 as Blake Majulis up to 4th. Now he's got to get around Ethan Toder to get into the feature. And side by side still up front with Selby and Hardy. Battling very, very hard. Hardy's got it for now, but Bulldog Matthew Selby will have something for him here in just a couple of laps, just as how hard as they was running. Have to definitely keep an eye on that battle. Also keeping one eye on the lead and one eye on the transfer spot is Blake Majulis starting to reel in Ethan Toder. Don't count out Keaton Holder right behind both of these guys, waiting to see if anything may slip. As Majulis goes down to the bottom, pulls the slider on Toter. Toter goes down back to the bottom, and Majulis will have to regroup. As Holder sends it straight into the fence right behind Majulis. Majulis is going to have to think up something right here to get around Ethan Toter. You can tell Majulis is a little bit faster than Ethan. We'll see if Majulis is able to pull it off. Right now, Hardy's starting to pull away from the Bulldog. And Toter's starting to inch closer to Matthew Selby as we come to 3 laps to go in the final B main of the evening. And the laps are ticking away for Majulis. If he's got anything, he needs to find it and find it very, very, very quick. Hardy still leads. Selby still in second. Toter third. When will Majulis pull the trigger? That is the question everybody's asking. When will he pull the trigger and get around Ethan Toter, or at least make an attempt at it? If he's holding anything back, he needs to send it now. White flag is in the air. One more lap here in the final B main of the evening. Hardy still got it. Selby still second. Here comes Majulis all the way down to the bottom. Tries to pull the slider. It's not going to be enough as Toter will get away. Chase Hardy wins B main number 3. Selby will get second, and Ethan Toter gets the very final transfer spot and denies Blake Majulis from going to the feature. Hardy, Selby, Toter, Blake Majulis, and Travis St. Clair. The top 5, Nicholas McDougal, R.S. Center, Bailey Dutton, Hunter Lagoons, and Keaton Holder round out the top 10. Well, folks, it's about time to get us lined up for this evening's feature. We're going to sit back for just a second, everybody. We're going to salute.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Folks, what a great country we live in here in the United States, and awesome to see the flyover, awesome to see the stars and stripes there on your screen. And one thing I do want to mention that is all about the stars and stripes is our sponsor for the Mission 22 Super Late Model Dirt Series, that being Mission 22. Today, 20 veterans will be lost to suicide. In fact, every day 20 veterans are lost to suicide in the United States. That makes the war at home more dangerous than all of our combat missions around the world. Mission 22 provides programs for veterans, spouses, ex-spouses, and children of veterans. It also provides community and education for veterans and civilians. Also builds national monuments to honor those lost to the war at home, and also creates awareness through events and social sharing. Go to mission22.com for more information on how you can be a part of that. And I'm telling you, folks, I mean, with all the crazy things that we've got going on in the world, it's great that Mission 22 does things like that. And we are 100% proud to have them as the title sponsor for the Mission 22 Super Late Model Dirt Series. And folks, we're getting ready. We're ready to rock and roll. These guys getting their cars lined up, getting them figured out, getting them ready for this track here tonight at Port Royal Speedway, and get ready for the 50-lap feature. And folks, if you thought you've seen some hard racing, you ain't seen nothing yet, because it's fixing to get loud. It's fixing to get real proud here at Port Royal. And you see these guys already look like they're stacking it up right here in the warm-up. They're ready. They're tired of all the talk. They're tired of all this. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. They're tired of it. They're ready to get it going here tonight at Port Royal Speedway. And the man that will lead them to the green tonight is the 112 entry of Devin Morgan, Logan Rumsey right beside him in that second spot. Robbie Buchanan Jr., Evan C., third and fourth, Desmond Busby and Chase Barbara, fifth and sixth, respectively. Jaden Anderson, Kendall Tucker, J.D. Brown, and Stephen Gaines rounding out the top 10. Jordan Casey, Dylan Wilson, 11th and 12th. 13th, Caleb Durgan, James Eddins, 14th, Colton Zimmer and Knox Lumley, 15th and 16th. Scout Neff and Chase Hardy, 17th and 18th. Tucker Elkins and Josh Fuller rounding out the top 20. And then Matthew Selby, John Ruggiero Jr., 21st, 22nd, and Dustin Griffiths, 23rd. And the final guy that barely squeaked in and beat out Blake Majulis to get into this field tonight, the hard charger. We seen him do it at Fairbury. Let's see if he can do it at Port Royal Speedway, that being the number 23 entry of Ethan Toder. Folks, it's going to be a blast here tonight. Everybody on Ultimate Dirt TV, I'm telling you, it's a pleasure to call these races. It's a pleasure to be here. And folks, we are in for a dandy, like I said earlier, once again here tonight. Get these guys lined up and get them ready to turn them loose here tonight at Port Royal Speedway. Everybody going to get lined up and in formation. Ladies and gentlemen, 6.5 years ago, the WOTEL group was formed. Tonight, the ground pounding Mission 22 Super Late Model Dirt Series wants you to rise to your feet and make some noise as we present to you 4 Wide in prime time, live on Ultimate Dirt TV. Beautiful sight right here, folks. 24 Mission 22 Super Late Model Dirt Series entries. But there can only be one that will be the winner here tonight. And folks, me being an announcer, I gotta, obviously, I like to try to make a pick on who I think, is going to be the winner. And, honestly, Devin Morgan, Logan Rumsey look very, very respectable in their heat races. But I'm going to slide back just a little bit, look at these guys on this second row, that being Robbie Buchanan Jr., Evan C. They both look very, very good in their heat races, much like Devin Morgan and Logan Rumsey. But a lot of experience, especially from that 33 entry of Evan C. Got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder coming into tonight, finishing second in the World of Outlaw butt kicker, late model dirt series, Monday night to his teammate, Blake Majulis Jr. at Cedar Lake. So I think, Evan C. will definitely have a chip on his shoulder from finishing second as many times as he has. That might be the winning card right there and put a little bit extra aggression here tonight at Port Royal Speedway. And some of the other guys back here in the back definitely want to take a look and double check and make sure we know where that 00 is. The point leader coming into tonight got a hefty point lead right now, that being Kendall Tucker. We'll see if he's able to keep that points lead. He's in the feature, so obviously he's going to get some good points, but he's got to finish good in the feature to get the points that he wants and keep it going for this season. Pace car is off. The 50-lap feature for the Mission 22 Super Late Model Dirt Series is underway here at Port Royal Speedway. Morgan straight down to the bottom, way different than what it looked like in the heat races. Went straight to the bottom, much like a bunch of them went to the top. And Rumsey going to go down to the bottom, and he's going to lead this first lap. 3 wide back there where Chase Barber is. Evan C. back in the middle of this as well, as Rumsey trying to scoot away. Robbie Buchanan Jr. gives him a little bit of a love tap. Everyone trying to hold it on the bottom. 3 wide for the lead, as Rumsey's up top, Morgan down low, and Buchanan in the middle. Rumsey gets shoved straight up the hill. That's going to open a door for Desmond Busby to slide right in and make his presence known, along with J.D. Brown. And check it out, the points leader, Kendall Tucker, up in the middle of this as well. All of this going on behind Devin Morgan, trying to scoot away the best that he possibly can. Buchanan almost stuck like a meat in a sandwich, stuck in the middle, and still stuck it, still the meat in the sandwich, with C up top, Tucker down low. Rumsey still trying to run the top, trying to get it to work in. And back goes 3 wide, Buchanan in the middle, as Tucker trying to rip the bottom, C trying to rip the top. And Buchanan just trying to find any way out of the 3 wide that he's in. Great racing by these guys right here. These guys act like they've done this before. Awesome job to see this right here. Everybody fanning out and trying to make runs as Rumsey takes a shot up on the top lane on Desmond Busby. We'll see if Rumsey can get the run, and he will, and try to advance to a podium spot. As check it out, as I talked about, Evan C. talking about him got a chip on his shoulder. He's going to try to push it 3 wide down on the bottom and put Busby in the middle. Hard racing, but very clean racing, as I say that. Hopefully no caution and have the announcers curse on me. But hard racing and very good racing right here for the first 9 laps of the feature. And as soon as I say that, caution is on the speedway. I shouldn't have said a word, but I said it. And we will see what happened right here. It looks like John Ruggiero Jr. may have been involved in this accident. We will see, though. Wow, what a spin. That's the 42 entry. Like he got straight up turned on his lid. Got the spin cycle on him right there. Wow. Unbelievable. I mean, basically he just spun like a top right there, folks. I mean, it's unbelievable. That's Jordan Casey that got spun, lost a wheel and everything, spun around like a tornado. So Jordan Casey, early on here in the feature, looks like he will be sidelined and try to get that tire replaced. and hopefully get back into this bad boy. Devin Morgan still leads. While all that was going on, J.D. Brown has put himself in that second spot. Logan Rumsey third, Desmond Busby fourth, Evan C. rounding out the top 5. The rest of the top 10, Robbie Buchanan Jr., Kendall Tucker, Chase Barbara, Caleb Durgan, Colton Zimmer. A bunch of these guys we've talked about up in the top 10 in the points. So we will see what happens as the green flag is back in the air. And Devin Morgan gets a huge jump on J.D. Brown. Rumsey going to try to take a shot on the bottom with C in tow. And Busby all the way up against the wall, trying to get the run. Robbie Buchanan Jr. back behind Desmond Busby. Kendall Tucker, we talked about him, the points leader coming into tonight. Being very, very quiet, as we can see, very quietly. Started 8th all the way up to 7th. So only one spot, but being very quietly inside the top 10, waiting for his time to pounce. Looks like the biggest mover from what I can see on the track right now is the number 20 entry of Colton Zimmer. 15th to 10th. But it can all change in a matter of 38 laps, because that's how many laps we got. J.D. Brown still has the lead right now, still trying to get away from Logan Rumsey. Morgan in a side-by-side battle with him. And the biggest mover of the race is not Colton Zimmer, it is J.D. Brown, started 9th all the way to 1st. So my apologies for that, but Brown making me pay for it right now, as he looks like he's trying to grab a stranglehold on this field and get away. See a lot of great battling back here. Robbie Buchanan Jr., Desmond Busby battling very, very hard for 3rd. Devin Morgan started this race on the pole, now starting to slide back ever so quickly. As C gets around him, here comes Barber. Barber's going to take a shot at him on the outside. Tucker's going to take it down to the bottom. They're going to go 3 wide off of turn number 2. And Tucker thought better of it and slid back. First 5 cars all on the top lane. Then the side-by-side battle with Colton Zimmer and Kendall Tucker. Now a couple jump to the bottom. Brown jumped to the bottom with Busby, and new race leader Logan Rumsey up front. That's how quick things can change here, folks. You talk about a side-by-side battle back in 10th. The lead can change in the blink of an eye, and Rumsey takes it and is starting to scoot away. Busby still sitting 3rd, Evan C. in that 4th spot. Buchanan Jr. rounding out the top 5. Barber trying to get inside that top 5. As Brown takes a shot down to the bottom, here comes Desmond Busby, tries to get the run on the top. And Evan C., I don't think he's left the top at all since we've started the feature tonight. He has been 100% committed to the top lane. As Brown runs the bottom, that's going to open the door. Desmond Busby going to go straight by him, try to go straight by him and get the run on the top and possibly make it work, and he will make it work. So move Busby up to 2nd at the line, but Brown still not wanting to give it to him. Brown needs to figure something out, try to get up top, because now Evan C., who, like I mentioned a while ago, has been running the top the whole entire night, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even think he's went to the bottom in his heat races. Running right up against the top lane. C's going to get around Brown and take 3rd spot. Now Buchanan trying to see if he can close that gap before Brown can slide back up. And he will slide up. Side by side with Brown, Buchanan Jr. for 4th. As we mentioned, all of this right here, Logan Rumsey pulling away by over a second to Desmond Busby. And Busby's got a rear view mirror straight up full of Evan C. C almost getting into him every time they go into the corner. JD Brown has found his way to the top lane as he tries to go back down to the bottom, so he is clear for a moment, but everybody else looking like they're trying to run the top as Brown takes a shot at Buchanan Jr. for fourth. Buchanan will get the run. Not quite got him clear. And now Buchanan will get clear and settle back into the fourth spot. C still all up into the back of Desmond Busby as we are halfway home here tonight in the 50-lap feature for the Mission 22 Super Late Model Dirt Series at Port Royal. Rumsey still pulling away. Busby keeping it right at a second. It was a little over a second a while ago, but now he's keeping it right at a second. And Evan C still in the tire tracks of Desmond Busby. Great battle back here around the fifth spot now. It's where you find JD Brown still trying to run the bottom of Buchanan Jr. up top. Chase Barber and Devin Morgan battling it out for sixth. Don't count out Colton Zimmer or Caleb Durgan. And there's the point leader in 10th, that being Kendall Tucker. Only driver out of the race here tonight is Jordan Casey, who lost a wheel. Got spun around like a top we mentioned about earlier. That's been the only caution that we've had here in the feature tonight, as we have been green with only that one caution. Rumsey still keeping it at about a second right now over Busby. Nothing really changing. C's took a couple of shots at Busby. But as I say that about the green flag run, we have a caution on the speedway. We got one off the track over the guardrail. Wow. Let's see what happens right here. Devin Morgan was up here in the middle of this. Somebody got sent straight over the fence, literally. I mean, tried to pull the slider and he just wasn't able to make it work. That was Caleb Durgan, I believe it was. It got spun, tried to pull the slider, and we talked about Caleb the past couple of weeks making some aggressive moves, and he tried to make an aggressive one right there, and it actually flips him end over end and comes to rest on the outside of the guardrail off of turn number 4. So Durgan takes a huge ride right there. And it's probably going to put Caleb Durgan in the pits, which is where he is right now. We're going to take a ride right here with James Eddins. See all of this play out. All of that happening right around the Kendall Tucker area, which made it even more interesting, but pace car is off. And we are under green once again with Rumsey getting a huge jump on Desmond Busby. Once again, Busby still up top. Now C trying to find a way to the bottom. And we got a caution on the speedway. A couple of them getting spun right after the caution flag waved. Evan C was the one that got turned. C tried to make an aggressive move down to the bottom and jump up in front of Busby. But the caution had waved. Busby was not able to get on the brakes. And C goes for a ride straight up into the air. A couple of drivers also getting mixed up in that. Looks like the 82 entry, I believe, back there. Dustin Griffiths also got involved in this as well. So Evan C, who was running up in the front, now is going to have heavy, heavy damage just past halfway of the feature. And C made an aggressive move. Looked like it was going to work there for a second. But, I mean, that happens. I mean, especially when, you know, they throw the caution. It looked like they threw the caution early and then C tried to get out of the gas, and then all of a sudden he tried to get out of the gas, and Busby just couldn't get out of it quick enough and just turned him straight around. Not real sure why the caution happened. Maybe something that the race director did not like. We've seen that a couple of times tonight, guys jumping restarts. So maybe that had a little bit to play in why that caution came out. But the guy that I really thought would probably have a good run here tonight and show them all up, Evan C is going to go straight to the back. And he's going to have a long, long road to get back up there. We come back around, it'll be 19 laps to go. So it's Rumsey still up front with Busby. J.D. Brown, that's the top three. Robbie Buchanan Jr., Chase Barbara, the top five. Then Morgan, Zimmer, Jaden Anderson, James Eddins, and Kendall Tucker will be in that 10th spot. Once again, folks, we want to thank all of our sponsors that we have this evening. Tri-City Speed for the Rookie of the Year, DirtFan.com. Shout out to all you fans over on DirtFan.com watching Studio 10 wraps, looking for the best looking car. And I say it every single week. I mean, they've got, everybody surprises me with some of the paint jobs that they got. Way better paint job than I probably could pull off on my end. And then obviously Mission 22, the primary sponsor for the Mission 22 Super Late Model Dirt Series. Pace car is off. Rumsey will take him to the green. Single file restart. Busby looks like he's going down pit road trying to come out, so J.D. Brown will be in that second spot. Green flag is in the air. They're on the gas. Rumsey running straight up on the top lane. Brown trying to run the bottom. As we got a stack up in the back, and the caution is out once again. Maybe somebody jumped the restart. Maybe once again we will see what exactly happened. Looks like Knox Lumley, he's getting an EOL. So something happened with Knox Lumley, maybe jumping the start somehow, some way. Not real sure exactly why, but we'll rack them up and we will do it again. Mentioned some of these guys inside that top 10 in points. Give y'all a heads up of where they're at. Kendall Tucker, he is the points leader coming into tonight. He is running in the 9th spot. Logan Rumsey sitting 3rd in the points. He is leading the race. It's a good run for him. Colton Zimmer's 6th in the race. Colton Zimmer's 7th in the points. One guy that really needs to slide up and get in the middle of this, Stephen Gaines, who's 6th in the points. He's running 13th right now. But we still got a long ways to go as the green flag is back in the air and Rumsey's back on the gas, trying to get away from J.D. Brown and Robbie Buchanan Jr. Check out Chase Barbara still trying to claw his way into possibly a podium finish as Devin Morgan has found new life with all of these cautions that have happened. And James Eddins took a huge shot right there to try to get to Morgan and maybe make something work, but was not able to. As Morgan still battles Chase Barbara for that 4th spot. Robbie Buchanan Jr. still running the top. Now here comes Morgan, going to pull the slider straight up in front of Buchanan Jr. Stacks the outside up. That's going to slow Buchanan down and give Chase Barbara a shot to get around Buchanan for 4th. All of this going on. Battle for the lead is on in turn number 3. J.D. Brown on the bottom. Rumsey right up against the wall. Brown maybe trying to scare Rumsey just a little bit. Either that or he wants this lead and he wants it bad. We've seen Brown use the bottom for a good portion of this race. See if he can make it work right here with Rumsey. And it's not going to work, as he's actually going to fall back into the clutches of Devin Morgan. Morgan running the top as well. Morgan, remember, our pole sitter this evening. Rumsey actually started second. J.D. Brown all the way from ninth all the way up to second where he is at. But Morgan wants to change that and take a shot right now to try to get that second spot. Barbara throwing sliders all over the place, trying to slide around Buchanan Jr. Jumps to the top. Now Buchanan going to try to pull the slider, but it's not going to be clear enough, as Barbara is going to get around him and try to pull Colton Zimmer right with him, as Zimmer is going to be able to get past Buchanan Jr. Now Jaden Anderson going to fall into the clutches to see if he can get around Buchanan Jr. Closing in on 10 laps to go, folks. 12 right now, 2 shy from 10 to go. As they come to the line, it is 11 to go, and the battle for the lead is on as Morgan up front with Rumsey. Side by side all the way into turn number 3. Morgan pulls a slider straight up into the fence. Rumsey ducks it down, goes below him. Drag race once again on these long straightaways on this half-mile dirt oval. Rumsey slides it, gets back into the lead. Morgan falls in the clutches of Rumsey. While this is going on, J.D. Brown still running comfortably on the bottom of the racetrack. Barbara trying to hold off Colton Zimmer. But the battle for the lead is heating up big time right now between Morgan and Rumsey. You see a lot of great battling back here. Talked about Stephen Gaines needing a very good run, trying to get around Tucker Elkins. Elkins in 11th, Gaines in 12th. So they're still trying to fight their way to where they can get to and try to get themselves a top 10. As Morgan's still putting the pressure on Rumsey for the lead with 7 to go. These two right here have been the fastest all night. Morgan and Rumsey. Morgan goes down to the bottom, pulls the slider, jumps straight up in front of Rumsey. Morgan gets into the fence and rides the curve, or went too high, more or less. I mean, rode the cushion is what I was trying to say. And that opened the door for Rumsey to slide right back by. As Rumsey will get the lead, Morgan putting the pressure, trying to give it all that he's got right here with 5 laps to go. It's shaping up to be a dandy right here at Port Royal Speedway. As I said earlier, I had a feeling it was going to be a dandy, but right now they are really showing why I said it. It's back and forth, beating and banging, coming off of turn number 4. 4 laps to go. Rumsey slides, pulls to the top. Morgan down to the bottom, trading slide jobs back and forth. And don't count out J.D. Brown, who can catch both of these guys if they slip up just a little bit. Is Rumsey trying to find something here? 3 to go. Brown lurking in the shadows. These 3 have pulled away from the field. Coming back 2 laps to go. Rumsey waiting for the moment to make it work. Morgan still leads. There you see Brown still trying to run the bottom of the racetrack, try to make it work as Rumsey starts to slip just a little bit. That may be all that Devin Morgan needs here, as Morgan will take the white flag. He is a half a mile away from the checkered flag here at Port Royal. Morgan still sliding away. Rumsey trying to get any last-ditch effort that he possibly can. It's not going to be enough. Your winner tonight here at Port Royal is Devin Morgan in the 112 entry. Rumsey will get second. J.D. Brown third. James Eddins will get that 4th spot. Jaden Anderson is going to be your top 5 here at Port Royal. Rest of the top 10, Chase Barber, Dylan Wilson, Josh Fuller, Colton Zimmer, and Tucker Elkins, rounding out the top 10. Once again, Morgan, Rumsey, Brown, Eddins, Anderson, Barber, Wilson, Fuller, Zimmer, and Tucker Elkins, the top 10. The rest of the field, number 44 of John Ruggiero Jr., all the way from 22nd all the way up to 11th. Great drive by John Ruggiero Jr. Dustin Griffiths, same as him, 23rd all the way up to 12th in the number 82 entry. Good run for him. Stephen Gaines going to be in the 13th spot with the Bulldog Matthew Selby, 14th. Robbie Buchanan Jr., 15th. Ethan Toder will be 16th. Desmond Busby, who started the race 5th, will finish 17th. Scout Neff will get 18th. Kendall Tucker, what happened to him? Our points leader started 8th, all the way down to 19th position. And then the rest of these guys not able to finish. Knox Lumley, Evan C., Chase Hardy, Caleb Durgan, and Jordan Casey. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll have a little talk with our podium finishers. All right, folks, we are back here at Port Royal Speedway and trying to see if we can catch up with some of the guys in this field tonight. Fuller, we're going to catch up with Josh Fuller right here. He's actually one of the biggest movers in the field, so we'll bring in Josh Fuller, driver of the number 27 entry. Josh Fuller, this is Jake Reeves. You got a copy?
Yeah, sure do, buddy.
Well, Josh, I'm going to tell you right now, you look like you was one of the fastest drivers out here this evening. Actually was the fastest in hot laps. You was one of the only drivers to actually pull a 16-second lap time here at Port Royal Speedway in hot laps. But, you know, coming all the way from the back of the pack, all the way up inside the top 10th, 8, just tell us about your night, bud.
Yeah, so hot laps, got lucky, kind of. I just kind of nailed the lap. You just have to be, on the inside wall as close as you can. But fortunately, we were able to put it in the show. I was kind of worried there for a little bit because this track, it's really technical and kind of got to run the wall and everybody's trying to fight for the same line. So once we were in the back in the feature, we just kind of hung out for a little while and rode around and tried to save as much tire as possible. And about 30 laps to go, we kind of went see where we could get to.
I mean, whatever strategy like that, sometimes you just got to ride at the back and just let everybody else play their strategy, and then it all works out for you. But, Josh, had a good run tonight here at Port Royal. Going into next week, the most, historic track in Knoxville, Iowa with Knoxville Speedway. How do you feel about your chances there at Knoxville? Do you think that you're going to be able to possibly get a top 5 or possibly even a win next week?
Honestly, you load into every server wanting to win, but this field is so tough. The best drivers on the sim are in this field every week. So it'd be difficult to say. Knoxville's a completely different animal. So, there won't be as much wall, I don't believe. It'll be more around the bottom. So we'll just have to see, get her set up, see what we can do with it.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, I race a little bit of dirt here and there, and Knoxville is one of my favorite tracks, and I cannot wait to see the best of the best run at Knoxville next week. But Josh Fuller getting the hard charger tonight. Go ahead and give us shout outs, bud.
Yeah, I'll just give a shout out to everyone at D1RT, that helps me out every week. Dylan, Devin, all those guys. I honestly, for the guys watching, that was a setup that they're getting ready to get. That was an EPI setup, just straight up Knoxville setup, no changes. So hopefully we can turn that into something else. Also give a shout out to Base Race Fuels, Go Racing Designs, Folds Graphics for the awesome wrap, D Will Sim Sports, Devin Morgan Enterprises, and you all for the broadcast, and Brett and Steven and Nick and everybody that puts on this league that we get to race in every week. It's awesome.
We love the shout outs just as much as the sponsors does, Josh. I'll be honest with you. But Josh Fuller coming home in 8th, get the hard charger from 20th all the way to 8th. Josh, we'll see you at Knoxville.
Yeah, we'll see you then. Thank you guys.
That was Josh Fuller. Really, really good run for him all the way from 20th all the way up to that 8th spot. We're going to see, try to see if we can find J.D. Brown. Can't find him right now, so we'll see if we can grab a quick word with the man that was basically battling it out. I mean, basically, he threw the kitchen sink at Devin Morgan. That's the 41 entry of Logan Rumsey. Logan, this is Jake Reeves. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Well, Logan, I can hear it in your voice. Seems like you kind of deflated, I guess you could say. I mean, it seemed like you, for a little bit, it looked like you kind of had that race in the bag. But, I mean, just tell us about the battle, that you and Devin had right there at the end.
Yeah, I definitely thought I had that 1-1 there, but I guess Devin just ran the bottom for a little bit longer and saved his stuff. And there at the end, it really showed because I could try everything I could to stay in front of him, but once he passed me, he was just the faster car there. So I was giving it all I could, but we just came home second there.
Well, I mean, I'll say this and be honest with you, it was a hell of a show for us, and I'm sure it was a hell of a show for everybody watching on Ultimate Dirt TV. But Logan Rumsey, going into next week is Knoxville, and I talked to Josh Fuller about this a minute ago about the historic and the prestigious about it. Obviously, it's different than Port Royal is. What are you looking for? For Knoxville, next week.
I don't know. We had the new build a couple months ago on dirt, and I've never even ran a Knoxville race on it yet. So no one really knows how it's gonna be. It should just be Actually, I have no clue. So we'll see next week.
Short and sweet. I like it, Logan. I'll be honest with you. But Logan Rumsey coming home second tonight. Logan, before I let you go, is there anybody that you want to thank that made this possible tonight?
Yeah, everyone at Alpha Industries for helping me test and stuff and build the setups, and Steve for putting up the league.
Short and sweet. That's my man. Logan Rumsey coming home second tonight. One spot short, Logan. I was pulling for you right there at the end. I got to be honest with you, but still a hell of a show tonight, and we'll see you at Knoxville.
Yep.
And you can tell right there, Logan was very deflated in that interview. I mean, you got to have winners, and sometimes there's guys that fall that short. But the one man that was able to pull it off here tonight, that is the 112 entry of Devin Morgan. Devin Morgan, this is Jake Reeves. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you loud and clear.
Well, Devin, I'll say this. It's like I said a while ago when I was talking to Logan. I mean, both of y'all put on a show for everybody to watch. And, I mean, I'm an announcer, and I was on the edge of my seat watching it. I absolutely loved it. But, just tell us about that battle with you and Logan right there at the end.
Oh yeah, it was a good battle there. It's just he did a really good job on his part, and I didn't do such a good part on my end. I had a way better tire there when I first got to him, and I should have made short work of it, but I just threw bad sliders and didn't get the drive off on my sliders and like I needed to, and it was just really bad driving on my end, and I just gathered it together there and was able to get it back right and uh, get around them there and just be able to hold off there.
And I saw you one time, I believe it was you, when y'all were battling, you slid so far coming off turn 4 that you literally jumped the cushion trying to keep it down. You jumped the cushion and let Logan get by. Did you think when you jumped the cushion, like, you was like, oh, I'm screwed, that was the race right there, I just gave it to him? Is that what, I mean, did you think that at the time?
No, not really. I knew I like I said, I knew I had a better tire right there at the end, and this uh did a little testing for next week for my EPI setup shop deal, Knoxville said, and it was just really good. It comes in right there at the end, and so I knew I had a better car there. I just had to do my job and not throw it away. So I figured I'd just get right back to him there, and we were able to, and I was able to get finally a good slider thrown and get it done.
Devin Morgan with his second win on the season comes here tonight at Port Royal, and Devin Morgan also third in the championship standings. Devin Morgan, before I let you go, is there anybody that you would like to thank that made this possible tonight?
Yeah, I gotta thank my mom, my dad, BKPR, NPM Marketing. I gotta thank the D1RT guys, all the testing going in. I gotta thank all my API guys, Elite Performance Industries, all of them. I gotta thank World of Thunder for giving us a place to race. I gotta thank y'all for broadcasting this thing. I'm sure I'm missing out on a whole lot more, but uh, it just feels good to be able to come back out here and World of Thunder and get these wins after being out after being in retirement for so long.
Well, you showed them how it was done in a hell of a battle with you and Logan Rumsey. Devin Morgan, we'll see you at Knoxville. Congratulations on the win.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And that was Devin Morgan. And I mentioned Morgan being third in the points after the race here tonight at Port Royal. Kendall Tucker still holds on to the point lead, but it's very slim now over Logan Rumsey. I mentioned Kendall Tucker finishing towards the back outside the top 15. Now Rumsey, Tucker with a 334, Logan Rumsey at 328 in the points. And now Morgan has made his presence known, jumped 5 spots all the way up to third. He's got 324 in the points. The rest of the top 5 in the points after Morgan is James Eddins and Colton Zimmer. And then for the rest of the top 10, J.D. Brown, Stephen Gaines, Chase Barbara, Caleb Durgan, and Ethan Toder. That'll be the top 10 going into next week at Knoxville, Iowa. We would like to thank our sponsors, Tri-City Speed for Rookie of the Year, DirtFan.com for the broadcast that they do on their website, Studio 10 Wraps for the best looking car, and obviously the big one, Mission 22, for the primary sponsor for the Super Late Model Dirt Series. And we also want to thank WOTEL for everything that they do. We also want to thank Ultimate Dirt TV as well. It's been a fun one, folks. Devin Morgan coming out on top with the win tonight here at Port Royal Speedway. My name is Jake Reeves with Adam Flieger on the controls, giving you all those great camera angles that we had. This has been a production of Ultimate Dirt TV. We will see you next Sunday night. Same time, same place. It's just going to be a different track, the historic Knoxville Speedway. We'll see you then.